And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the second half of the PondCast here, the PondCast episode 56. 64. We just wrapped up with the initial topic list here, going through the StarCraft II PTR patch notes, going through the new news regarding the Chinese client, talking about the new tournament pickups and what all that does entail as well in regards to the greater StarCraft II scene. Really exciting things to come, and what that can allude to as well. So yeah, really cool to hear, really cool to see. But now it's time for tournament results. Here we go. A lot of tournaments, of course, do take place on a weekly basis. We cast most of them, but there's still some that we are not quite able to cover. First, we have StarCraft Evolution. Now for SC Evo, I don't think we've actually discussed the proposed PTR balance changes. We can do that next time. We can talk about that next time. But likewise, they also have their own PTR changes that they are testing, that they're pushing through, and they have been running, and they do plan on running more tournaments on the PTR before they push the patch live. So really interesting to see that they're going through this process. I say it's interesting just because the devs working on SC Evolution, they have less constraints when it comes to how often they want to patch. So it's kind of weird, but it's possible that they just don't feel confident pushing through all these changes straight away, just because, especially recently, they've been reverting a bunch of changes, right? They've been doing a lot of reversions, a lot of walking back, and then pushing forward again. So it looks like they want to iterate first before committing to an actual patch this time. So it looks like they're adjusting their process a little bit, because this is the first we've seen of a PTR event like this. So yeah, interesting decision there from those over at StarCraft Evolution. Maybe taking feedback as to the amount of changes that they've been doing at once, or so just on a regular basis, and how it's difficult to kind of like take all of that in as well. So interesting to see that they've decided to go for the PTR route as well, and we'll be going over those changes next time. For now, we have the event itself, and we actually have a new regular player here. If you remember, Solar, he was invited to compete in the Chijik tournament, in the Chijik Brood War versus SC2 event, and Solar did really well. He did surprisingly well in that tournament, and it looks like he's hooked. Looks like that may have hooked him in, and now he's playing in the PTR edition of this event. He takes down Prome 2-0, takes down Tasia 2-1, takes down Beyond 2-1, and takes down Tasia 2-1 as well. Very impressive. Beyond and Tasia, I would say, are the two best Terran players in StarCraft Evolution currently. So for Soul to beat both of them is very impressive. Of course, the one player that is the best of the best that isn't here is Classic. Classic, he is the reigning StarCraft Evolution champion from the championship. He was not a part of this event, so we don't really get to see Solar against him, but seeing Solar take down Tasia and Beyond, it bodes well, and it shows the quality of, or the caliber of play that Solar's playing at. So very impressive play there. Congratulations. Once again, this is also not in the base StarCraft Evolution version. This is in the PTR. And again, we'll be going over those PTR changes next week, as we already spent quite a lot of time going through the main SC2 PTR changes. We'll be touching and delving into this PTR for StarCraft Evolution next time. But with that, congratulations to Solar. That leads us into the 5.4K patch clash number 5. Now, patches, he has his own proposed balance changes and his own mod that he has been pushing, he has been iterating on, and he has been running tournaments on as well. So really cool to see him doing his own thing, doing his own changes, of course, and potentially changes that could be iterated on and pushed into the live version of the game as well. That might be picked up by those working at Blizzard. So again, there's reason to do so. Reason to go through and see what works and what does not. Here we have Inexorable. Once again, Inexorable, he takes down Xingming. Xingming, I believe, off racing, in my mind, is a Chinese Protoss player, not Terran. So hold on a minute.
I mean, this is
yes.
the MMR restricted one, so they may be off racing.
Yeah, I just double checked. He is Protoss, so he is off racing. So he is off racing here as Terran. And Inexorable does claim the entire tournament, takes down Xingming, Bomyoja, Mixu, and Xingming at the very end as well. Mixu also off racing. So Mixu and Xingming did off race just so they could actually compete in the event. And Inexorable does claim it once again. Congratulations to Inexorable. GG, well played. GG well played does claim the win. That leads into our amateur events. So we have the Amateur League Weekly number 138. Oh boy, that's a lot of Amateur League weeklies. Up first, we have the Initiate version. Just as a quick heads up, this is a regular weekly tournament split between different leagues, different MMR ranges, and it is a weekly tournament for the more amateur scene. That's why it's called the Amateur League Weekly. The initiative version is for those between the leagues of Bronze and Platinum. And in this tournament, we had Ragnar. Okay, Ragnar, of course, he's a regular in this tournament and a regular in our chat as well. Ragnar takes down Swooton 2-0, takes down Jackals 2-0, takes down Coral Viper 2-0, and Coral Viper 3-0 as well. Very impressive run here from Ragnar. Ragnar, he's a regular in these tournaments. He has won these in the past, and he will win one here as well. I know he has been improving quite a lot as of late. He is in the upper echelons of Platinum and looking to push into Diamond. I hope that that's kind of the trajectory that Ragnar is on here. Well played. GG, well played. That leads us into the Veteran Edition. This is for those between the leagues of Diamond 3 and Diamond 2. Here we do have Taldarim. Taldarim takes down Glacius, takes down Balimko, takes down Bobson, and takes down Bobson in the rematch finals as well. So impressive play there by Taldarim. He is another regular that we have seen in these tournaments in the past. He does claim the entire tournament here, 3-0 in the finals. GG. GG, an impressive run here. Did drop some maps to Glacius and to Bobson, but in the finals was a cleaner 3-0 win. That leads us into the Prestige Tournament. This is for those between the leagues of Diamond 1 and Masters 2. Here we have a lot of our regulars as well. Set, the Ukrainian Zerg player, takes down Demachio 2-0, takes down Blue Knight 2-0, takes down, falls to Hidich. Hidich is a player that I've not seen before, so interesting. I'm unfamiliar with him as a player. But Set, he gets knocked down, takes down Blade of Fire 1-0, who's an American Protoss, if I recall correctly, and Set does take down Hidich in the rematch 3-1. Very impressive play there by Set. Does claim the win. Again, Set, he's played in our tournaments in the past as well. I think, he has played in our tournaments in the past, and cool to see him thriving here as well in the Amateur League Weekly. So congratulations. That leads us into the next edition. That leads us into the Prestige Edition for those between the leagues of Diamond 1 and Masters 2. We just went through that. That leads us into the Elite Edition. That's it. The Elite Edition, which is for those between the leagues of Masters 1 and GM. And here we had some more signups this time. We had Deka. I believe the French Zerg player. Either Zerg or Protoss. He might be Protoss. But that guy does take down Toaster 2-1. Sorry, yeah, Protoss. He's right there. What am I talking about? He's Protoss. Takes down Toaster 2-1 and does win in the rematch as well, 3-0. Cool to see that we had some extra signups this time. Again, typically the Elite Edition of this tournament is not really popular. The reasoning for this is that this is for pro players, right? It's for M1 to GM. But all the pro players, they play for money. And these weeklies do not provide prize money. They only provide points. The points do lead into an event at the end of the season, which does have prize money. But you have to put a lot of work in playing in the weeklies to qualify for that end of season event. And a lot of pro players don't bother with that. So that's why we see less signups here for the Elite Edition. But really cool to see Deca popping off. GG, well played, congratulations. With that leads us into our next tournament. That leads us into the Little Mac Master League season number 10. It's been a while here. Really cool to see Little Mac once again hosting tournaments. Last I heard, I think Little Mac, he was either neck deep in Stormgate or neck deep in Stormgate. Like, I think he was all in on Stormgate for a while there. So really cool to see Little Mac coming back to StarCraft and hosting a tournament. This is a GSL style tournament for those that are below the MMR of 5.4k average MMR and below. So this is for the up and coming semi-pros, and looking at the player list here, who do we see? A lot of recognizable names here. Azura, we have the Italian Protoss player Azura. He's going to be coming in as one of the heavy favorites. We have Balensbaum, we have Benny, we have Fireclaw, Magnath, Matrix, Mosten, Nihed, Roscoe, Zions. Oh, Zions is back. He's been retired for quite a number of years here. He's a Peruvian Protoss player. So Zions is here. Angry, Gypsy Danger, Inexorable, Kamikaze, Mado, Patches, Anticore, Kaiboy, Radka, and Ryojin. Okay, so I was going to go into predictions first, but looks like Group Stage 1. Oh my, they've blazed through this tournament. My apologies. Did we miss out on this earlier?
This tournament actually has been going on for a while, but I was waiting for the group stage to be over to actually properly cover it. Because this is one of those tournaments that just goes on for months.
Yeah, it looks like it's been going on for a while, actually. Yeah, not entirely certain as to when this got updated, but did begin back in July of this year. But coming into this, I would have said the favorite players are going to be players like Azura, players like Inexorable, players like Ryojin. Those are the three in my mind. And Nihed as well, true. Those are the top four in my mind. And we'll see if they made it through here. From Group A, we had Draconics. Oh, right, there were more players, just not notable. So Draconics and Azura, they make it a Group A. Did Draconics beat Azura? No, Draconics, calm down, Papica, let's go. Takes down Azura 2-1, sorry, 2-0 even, so very impressive. But Draconics and Azura, they do make it through Group A. Group B, we had Kamikaze and Ryojin, to be expected. Group C, we had Sig. Hey, Sig is there as well. Sig over Nihed. We have some of the lesser known players taking down the notables. Very impressive. We have Angry and Inexorable making it a Group D. Did Angry beat Inexorable? That's impressive. Yeah, he takes down Inexorable 2-1. Very impressive play. We have Magnath and Maro. Impressive. I was favoring Matrix over Maro. We have Anticore and Roscoe. We have Ino and Winter. We have Zions and Gypsy Danger. For the most part, I would say that at least in the group stage, the only upsets were Angry beating Inexorable, Sig beating Nihed, and Draconics beating Azura. Very, very impressive wins there for the players. But for the most part, the favorite players did make it through the group stage. Going into into group stage 2, we had Kamikaze and Ryojin making it out of group A, to be expected. They were favored coming into that. We had group B. Ooh, this is an upset. We had the Latino American group here. We had Zion's, Inexorable, Draconics, and Angry. Angry comes out on top. I'll be honest, I don't rate Angry like as highly as these other players here. So really impressive play here by Angry. Oh my god, takes down Draconics 2-0, takes down Inexorable 2-0 as well. Very impressive play there by Angry. And Draconics, he gets the win over Inexorable 2-1. I would call that an upset. For sure. Big upset here. Crazy win for Draconics. Very well done. That leads us into Group C. We had Nihed and Azura making it out. They were the favorite players there, making it out over Magnath and Gypsy Danger. And then we had Roscoe and Anticore making it out over Sig and Mado. I would have leaned towards Sig there, to be fair. Sig did take down Mado 2-0, but did fall to Anticore 2-1. Barely didn't make it through. Barely didn't make it through. And with that, we have our top 8. We have our top 8 players. We have Kamikaze versus Anticore, Nihed versus Draconics, Angry versus Azura, and Roscoe versus Ryojin. I would say the only big surprises here is, again, Inexorable is not a part of the top 8. Sig, not a part of the top 8 either. So crazy results there. The fact that some players did not make it through. Now, of the remaining players, who do we favor? I think I would say Nihed, right? Nihed. I think I would favor him on his half. I favor him over Draconics, over Kamikaze, and over Anticore. I think he's the favorite player to make it to the finals from the top side. From the bottom side, Angry's been popping off. I want to bet against Angry, but I keep betting against him, and he keeps making it out in first place out of the group. So, like, I don't know if I can say with confidence. I would say that Azura's favored. I would say that Azura is favored against Angry, against Roscoe, and against Ryojin. But that might be the series to take it, like Angry and Azura. Like, whoever wins there might go all the way. It's hard to say here. But regardless, best of luck to all the players. Best of luck, as they are in the top 8. And yeah, once we get some results, once we get the finale of this event, we'll keep you notified. We'll be there to report. That leads us into PassionCraft Emerging Stars number 32. I did hear that this event was going to be going on hiatus, if I recall correctly, due to low signups. In general, I feel like signups have been decent for this event, but specifically for number 32, yeah, signups are very, very low here. So really unfortunate, considering like this is a really nice tournament. This is a regular weekly tournament for those that are below the MMR ranges of 5.5k, right? Like, this is for the up-and-coming semi-pro players. The up-and-coming players here, this is for them. And it looks like over time they've been getting a little bit less interest in this tournament, which is a bit of a shame. So we had Inexorable, we had Hushy, we had Cos Phoenix, and F2 Click as well. F2 Click does win the entire tournament, but yeah, it is a shame that there was so little interest in this week's event, and so little so that the organizer of the event has decided to put this on an indefinite hiatus. So a bit of a shame here. It was a really nice initiative. Big shout out to Mr. L. Mr. L was the organizer of this event. But again, I believe this will be the last PassionCraft Emerging Stars tournament, at least for the near future. If it comes back, we'll bring it up. So congratulations to F2 Click for winning the potentially final Emerging Stars event. That leads us into the World TV Team Liquid Contest 14 3v3 edition. We spoke about this earlier, about how there were these team game tournaments that were taking place to feature these new maps. And here we have the 3v3 edition. Likewise, we also have the 4v4 edition, which I think we already spoke about, I would imagine. No, we haven't. So I guess we'll be going over that as well. Yes, so we have the 4v4 tournaments and the 2v2 events as well.
Yes, last week it was in the PondCast was in the middle of the 3v3 event. We were still waiting for the results of the finals.
Yeah, and we have the results. We have the results here. We have Showtime, Euthermal, and Serral. We have the Dream Team, the trio themselves, one of each race. The best of the best in all of Europa, of course. Smurge Clem. She was not a part of this. They do face off. They do claim the win over Lambo, Spirit, and Hearthstone. Really cool to see that we actually had one of each race in each team for the finals specifically. So really cool that we had that nice balance between them. The best part of these events, of course, is the banter that they have while they're playing, while they're in game. So congratulations to Showtime, Euthermal, and Serral, my condolences to Lambo, Spirit, and Hearthstone. I hope they had some team names. That's all I hope. I hope they had some nice team names, and I hope they use them well. That leads us into the 4v4 tournaments. Here in the 4v4 events, we did have a couple of teams as well. Once again, signups were very low for these events just because you require so many players to actually make a team. So really unfortunate that we had low signups for both the 3v3, 2v2, and 4v4 as well. I think that's also why I already hosted a second 2v2 tournament, just because of the low signups. But yeah, because that was just a show match. Smooch. I mean, he did what he could.
I mean,
so for the 4v4 event,
to be fair, from what I know, the 2v2 Invitational was happening regardless.
Yeah. I mean, I thankfully was able to get some more games out of that. But for the 4v4, we did have teams of Björn, Ryung, Shin, and Nightmare. Interesting team. A combination of players there. We had Geralt, Max, Spirit, and Showtime. We had Wayne. We had Master Vasya. We had Zardians and Night Phoenix. And we had Lambo, Hearthstone, Laser, and a Kalizer. Okay. I mean, I don't know how to judge 4v4 at all, so I'm sure they were entertaining games. In the end, the Korean team, the pure Korean team, they made it through 2-0 over Geralt, Max, Spirit, and Showtime, and they were to win the grand finals here over Wayne, Master Vasya, Zardians, and Night Phoenix as well. So congratulations to Björn, Ryung, Shin, and Nightmare, especially because historically the Koreans don't really play in team games too often. Like, we've been hosting, like Euthermal, he hosted his 2v2 tournaments on a regular basis, and we barely had any Korean sign up. We had a duo of Ryung and Gumiho, like that one time. We had Björn and Percival, like once as well. Like again, like the Koreans, they barely really had much interest in it. But here they were to thrive in the 4v4. Cool to see. I'm sure Shin and Ryung, I'm sure they made some content out of that. As that leads us into the second 2v2 event, where they did have more of like a round robin sort of event here, which I think is the best thing to do if you want to get the most games that you can with the least amount of players. So they had two teams. They had Team Hearthstone, they had Team Laser. So Hearthstone, his team consisted of Hearthstone, Lambo, Max, Nickrat, and Wayne. Then we had Team B of Laser, Goblin, Showtime, Spirit, and Uwu Thermal. Also, I apologize. I said the Hearthstone team is a Laser team. It was Hearthstone and Euthermal. He was the team captain for Team B as well. And I believe they would field duos. Here to kind of face off and to go up against each other and to play these best ofs. So we had interesting pairings. We had the homies. We had Euthermal and Goblin. They took down Nickrat and Wayne 2-1. Very impressive. And then is this all kill format? Wait, what? They stuck around. They took down Max and Nickrat 2-1 as well. Then we had Lambo and Max taking down Goblin and Euthermal. So Euthermal, he was swapped out with Spirit instead. So Spirit stepped in. They also lost against Lambo and Max. And Lambo and Max, they just stuck around. Yeah, I guess all kill format. Hold on. Let's read this up. Let's look at the. We should have started with the format.
It's kind of an all kill, yeah.
The match starts with each team selecting a 2v2 team from their squad of 5 players, and these two teams then play a best of 3. Losing team of the best of 3 will lose one player from the 2v2 that just played. This player will be eliminated from the event. Then they will have to send out another player to join the player that just played but was not eliminated against the same 2v2 combination of the opposing team. Player that has lost 2 series will be automatically eliminated. Okay, so it's kind of all kill, where when you lose a series, you have to replace a player. So when Nickrat and Wayne lost, they replaced Wayne with Max Pax, and then when they lost again, they replaced Nickrat with Lambo. And then when Goblin Euthermal lost, they replaced Euthermal with Spirit. Then when they lost again, they replaced Goblin with Showtime. Then when they lost again, they replaced Spirit with a Laser. Is there a player that never played? Yep, Harstem. Harstem never played. God damn it. Harstem, he did not play at all in this event, despite being the captain. He just made everyone else work for it instead. Makes sense. That's Harstem. SMH. So congratulations to Harstem's team, as Harstem did win the event without playing a single game. Let's go. And with that, they were able to showcase all the maps, of course. They were able to showcase as many maps as they could. And again, I do recommend checking out this event to be able to get a bit more information about those maps, about what you want as a part of the event. The drama. True. Oh, the drama. As that leads us into the StarCraft II Collegiate World Championship. Okay, we already went through the teams, or through the initial participants, I believe. We did that last time, but now we have the group stage taking place. I believe we've already had some progression in the group stage as well. Just checking. Oh, sure. Okay. So the group stage did conclude. Who made it through? Okay, from Group A, we have Fiant and Inexorable advancing on in first and second place. Group B, we had Sebestis and Azura. Group C, UD Soldier and XY Fans. Group D, we had Qingming and Nisho. Group E, we had Hydra and Greenert. Group F, we had Sig and Acheron. Group G, we had Hackers Top and Lorimbo. Group H, we had Gunner and Magnath. I would say that there weren't any really big upsets here. I think all the favorite players made it through. You could argue that Anticore, maybe that was an upset. Anticore did not make it through. Let's have a look here. Anticore, there was some forfeits. He got some forfeit wins. He lost against UD Soldier and he lost against XY Fans. Okay. So Anticore, he barely didn't make it through, as he did lose those series 2-1. He fought hard for it, but barely didn't make it through. And then we have our favorite players making it through into the top round of 16. So we have our seeded round of 16 playoffs here. We have Fiant versus Magnath, Hackers Top versus Azura, UD Soldier versus Acheron, Hydra versus Nisho, Sebestis versus Lorimbo, Gunner versus Inexorable, Qingming versus Greenert, and Sig versus XY Fans. Okay, so looking at this bracket here, who's favored to take it all? So I think from the top half of the bracket, Fiant, right? I would lean towards Fiant over... Do I favor Fiant over UD Soldier and Hydra? I think I know the Fiant's been smudging a lot. He's been smudging a lot. He's been playing less StarCraft. Has he smudged enough? Or is he still in lost in ZVP? I just realized... Oh no. This will not help the smudging. I just realized that Fiant, he's literally on the half of the bracket where it's just full of Protoss and Hackers Top, which is who's an animal. He's a clown. He just does nothing but cheese. So Fiant, he's literally surrounded by Protoss, all the Terran players and the other Zerg players on the other half of the bracket. So this bracket was built to attack Fiant's mental state, 100%. Like he has strong thoughts about ZVP and he's been very upset about it, and this tournament will not help. This will not help at all. So best of luck to Fiant's mental. We'll see if he can survive the non-stop Protoss on his way to the finals. Second half is a little bit more diverse. Do I favor Inexorable? I favor Inexorable over Gunner. Sebestis, of course, he's a big name there. Lorimbo, he can be a wild card. Sig, of course, has been improving a lot. I think I favor Sebestis. I think Sebestis for the lower half, Fiant in the upper half, but it's hard to call here. Best of luck. Best of luck to all the players. Best of luck to all those involved. There's going to be a show match as well, champion versus question mark. That'll be after the event concludes. So best of luck. Best of luck. As the Collegiate World Championship will be concluding by the time next week does roll around. That leads us into our regional events and our show matches. Up first, we do have the Sunny Lake Cup number 3. This was, an insane group stage. An insane round-robin group of purely best of twos. Look at how many games were played. God. So fun fact, MinoVK, he's been reaching out. He's like, Pappy, do you want to cast? I'm like, I have no time. But I also look at the tournaments that he's running and look at how many games there are. That's a crazy event, Pappy. That's so many matches. Oh, no. I could not, Pappy. That's a one-day event as well, by the way. Just massive round robin group. So in the end, who made it through? We had Wayne. Wayne comes out in first place. We had GG Machine in second, Nickrat in third over Shameless, Young Yakov, Skilless, Hearts, and UD Soldier. That's crazy. Nikita's heavily favored here. He dropped a map to UD Soldier. He dropped a map to Nickrat. He dropped a map to Shameless. He lost against GG Machine. That's a huge upset. And he dropped a map to Art. Yes, Skilless a little bit shaky. A little bit shaky here, as he should be one of the heavy favorites. Likewise, Young Yakov also surprisingly did not make it far in this tournament. He went down to G Machine. He dropped a map to Art. He went down to Wayne. He went down to Shameless. He tied against Nickeract. So yeah, some really interesting results here. Shout out to Wayne and GG Machine. Wayne, he's back on that horse. GG Machine has been slowly improving over time, and for him to come out in second place here is very impressive, considering the caliber of players in this tournament. So really impressive run there by GG Machine. As that leads us into our Matas game. Also, of course, this event was organized by MinoVK, was casted by MinoVK as well. Was not casted in English. We have been approached to cover this event as well, but I have not had the time to cover it, unfortunately. So we did cover one of the Sunny Lake Cups, Sunny Lake Cup number 1, but we missed out on 2 and 3. We might go back into it for number 4. We'll see. These formats are brutal, though. Like, there's so many games. That leads us to Amantes. Amantes is StarCraft number 41. This is a Brazilian-only tournament, and here we had Master. Once again, no Eric to face off against Master. Eric, he has been on a hiatus, and in Eric's absence, Master has been cleaning house, and no one can stop him. He takes down Elevolts, he takes down Inexorable 3-0, Kamikaze 4-0 as well. Who else can stop him? Shakti. Right, typically Shakti, Yan, Eric, they can stand in his way, but here they're not there. They're not able to stand in his way. They're not able to face off against him. So Master, he goes through this untouched. Perfect score, yeah, without dropping a single map. Impressive play there by Master. Again, he's the best Protoss player in all of Brazil, and only a few can really pose a threat against him. So GG, well played. That leads us into the Elpis Team League 2025 full code A. Oh boy, we already went through the qualifiers, I believe. The preseason leading into this, but here we have the beginning of the main event. The group stage has been going underway for both Code S and Code A. Quickly going over Code A here, we have the first round. Okay, the first round has concluded. We have PTB taking down their opposing team 6-0. We had Rookie Warpgate taking down FLC 4-3. Hold on, FLC is 4-leaf Clover. Oh, let's go. We had Hist and Toss taking down Rookie Warpgate to the second team 4-3 as well. So only the first round has concluded. Remember, this is Code A. This is where we have some of the lesser known teams and some of the weaker rosters as well. Coming into this event, who do we favor? Quickly double checking here. Starlight Twinkle Team 2 has Xingming. I would say he's the best player in this tournament. Maybe, actually, Pioneer is pretty good as well. Like, I rate Pioneer quite highly. He's on Rookie Warpgate. We have Xingming for Starlight Twinkle. We have YRYF for 4-leaf Clover. Like, we have a couple of notables, but what's important is that they're spread out. And at the end of the day, this is a team league, right? Like, it's not about the notables, it's about the rest of the team as well. So it's really hard to call who's favorite here. I lean maybe towards Starlight Twinkle, but for the most part, like, this is it's going to be a harder one to call, and best of luck. Best of luck to all the teams and how they all compare and compete against each other in the coming weeks, in the coming season. That leads us into Code S. Code S is where we have the bigger names and the bigger teams that are facing off. For Code S, who do we have? We have Astartes featuring Latte. We have Elpis Esports Team, which has Lemon, which has Miggy, Oriana, Restart, STV, hefty roster for Elpis. We have Team Hist with Kingslayer number TATP. We have Kaoda, which has Ghost, Turn, and Winter. We have Little Fairy featuring Shameless, of course, Shameless and Little Fairy. They used to have Percival. I believe Percival did leave the team, so Percival no longer going to be a factor there. They do have Ultramarine as well. They have PCEC, which has Mixu. True, remember they have some quote-unquote mercenaries, like Mixu's on PCEC, Shameless is on Little Fairy, Ultramarine's on Little Fairy as well. Starlight Twinkle, Triple H, Jolly Loves, Nani, Rewhite, and Young Zest. And we have Toho Project with Daydreamer. Now, coming into this very quickly, I would say the strongest teams are Starlight Twinkle and Elvis. Starlight Twinkle with Triple H, Jolua, Rewhite, and Young Zest. They have a pure Protoss team, but those are some strong Protoss players, 100%. So they have a hefty roster. Elvis, who they have, Lemon, who I want to say that Lemon is the best player in the league. I want to favor Lemon over. I want to favor Lemon over Mixu. I don't know if I can favor Lemon over Shameless. So I would say he's like top two. Like top two, Shameless and Lemon, right? They are the highest rated players. Top three would be Shameless, Lemon, and Mixu. So Elbus, they have Lemon as a star player, but they also have Oriana, Restart, SCV, Miggy. They have a nice core around Lemon. And then you have Little Fairy, who has Shameless, arguably the best player in the league, with Ultramarine. But I would say that the rest of their roster is a little bit weaker. They have some good star players, but the rest of the roster is a little bit weaker. It's a little bit worse for PCEC, where they have Mixu. True, they have Mixu. Like when it comes to the rest of the roster, some more unnotables, some lesser known players, not as strong of a roster here. So coming into this tournament, I have to favor Starlight Twinkle and Elpis. I believe they're going to go far in this. Little Fairy is going to be maybe my third pick as well. The other team is just because they have Ultramarine and Ear, I guess. I don't know. I'm on the fence on Little Fairy. I might put Hist above them, like Kingslayer, Number, and TATP. That's like a solid 3-player team there, alongside the others, of course. But like Hist has potential as well. So we'll see. We'll see how they perform. Coming into the season itself, we have round one concluding. We have Elpis. They take the win over Kauda. Again, we expect to see this. Like Elpis, I would say our favorite teams. Migi takes on Ghost. We have a forfeit in the second round and a tied 1-1 scoreline. Up next, we had Starlight Twinkle versus Astartes. Again, Starlight Twinkle, they're one of the heavy favorites. We had Jolua 1-1 against Latte. We had Young Zest 2-0s and Rewhite 1-1s. Then we had PCEC. Here we had some players I'm a little bit less familiar with here, but PCEC, they do get the win at 5-1 over Tollwood Project. And then we had Little Fairy over Hist. Oh, okay. We had Ear tied 1-1 against Kingslayer. We had Ghost Runner 2-0 Number, and we had Shameless 1-1 TATP. That is a clutch score. That came down to the first series. That came down to Ghost Runner and Number. So really, really close scoreline there. Again, I mentioned before, I was kind of favoring Hist over Little Fairy, but Little Fairy, they get the win. GG. GG, well played. We'll see how far Little Fairy can go, as that was merely only round one, and we have 7 rounds in total. So best of luck to all the teams, as again, this is a big team league happening amongst the Chinese teams over in their region, with some of the teams, of course, incorporating some of the more international players like Mixu, like Shameless, like Ultramarine, and Lemon as well. As that leads us into the Sunrise Cup number 217. This is a weekly tournament here for the Chinese region, and here we had Miggy. Hey, we just spoke about him. He does take down Jolly Loves 2-0. Very impressive. Does make it all the way to the finals. Ooh, Young Zest forfeited. I would have favored Young Zest to make it all the way to the finals, but Young Zest did forfeit in the quarterfinals. And then we had our champion. Is that Nanyu? Hold on. Or is that Suniko? Let's see. That's not. There you go. That's Nanyu. Nanyu does take the win over Miggy 3-1. Nanyu is a very strong player as of late. Nanyu is on PCEC. Oh, that's another actually really strong asset for that team. Talking about the team league, Nanyu has been on fire. I think I would go as far as to say that Nanyu is currently the best Zerg player in China, just because Silky is inactive, right? Silky has been inactive for quite some time, for a couple of months. With Silky stepping away, Nanyu has stepped up. He has stepped up as the best player. So again, he's going to be another asset in the team league. That leads us into the Japanese weekly, the Legacy Weekly Japan at number 472. It's crazy, so many Japanese weeklies, and I know who that is. Tapioca. Tapioca does take down Akira in the first round, takes down Nise in the second round. Nise Zo takes down Deadly Kitten, and takes down Noah Shirayuki in the finals as well, who also took down Vaishravanya. So very impressive. Again, Tapioca, in my mind, is solidified as the best player in Japan. Straight up. The best player in Japan. Has surpassed Vaisravanya, has surpassed Crimson, has surpassed Psyarch, and Deadly Kitten as well. Tapioca has been on top for quite a number of months at this point. I want to say like maybe 2 months. So really impressive to see the rise of Tapioca. Get that boba. Get that ball back. Yeah. As that leads us into the OSC results here for the week. I believe we did have one day of the midseason playoffs number 2, and I believe we had some results coming in here. So, quickly checking our notes. Okay, there we go. So we had Skillus versus Nice. Hold on. So that's in the lower brackets. No, sure.
No, that's in the upper bracket, but in early round.
Yeah. So Skillus takes out Nice 2-1, takes a Nice 2-1. Again, Skillus has been looking a little bit shaky as of late, so I'm a little bit less confident in him. I would have favored Skillus against Nice and Skillus against Cristiano, but I don't think I can say that with full confidence anymore just because of his recent performances. So best of luck to Nikita as he's up against Cristiano in the next round. When it goes up against Solar, likewise we had Cure versus Percival. Cure does take down Percival 2-1. Percival has been looking quite impressive in TVT, I'll be honest. Like, the TVTs from Percival have been looking better and better. You just saw it here. Percival, he took down Spirit 2-1, took a map off of Cure. Percival, he's been improving, straight up. Like, no longer is only his TVP in form, but his other matchups have been getting better and better as well. So it's really impressive to see the growth of Percival over time. Likewise, Cristiano did take down Hydra 2-0. We had Max versus Ryung. Max takes down Ryung 2-0 as well. We had Mana versus Art, where Mana did take down Art 2-0. And we had Moja. I believe that's in the low bracket. Yeah, Moja takes down Mute 2-1 in the initial round. Mute is now out of the tournament. Likewise, SOS takes down Homono 2-0. Homono also out of the tournament as well. Again, as you can see here, when it comes to the bracket, it's huge. Massive bracket, a lot of players, a lot of matches. It can be a little bit difficult to keep up with. And best of luck to all the players. Best of luck to all the players here moving forward, as there's still plenty of matches to come. Coming into this tournament, there are still some heavy favorites. We have Max, we have Björn, we have Mana, we have Cure, we have Solar, we have Skillus and Cristiano. There's some heavy favorites. Best of luck to everyone involved. We might be covering some of these in the future. Does depend. I know that Steadfast covers some of these tournaments or some of these days, and Wardy as well. So best of luck to all those involved with the OSC mid-season playoffs. That leads us into the Open Cups. Let's go. We've made it. We made it to the Open Cups here. Up first, we do have the KSL, the Korean StarCraft League, week number 80. This is, of course, a weekly open tournament, but is catered towards the Korean time zone and the Korean server. And Hero, he is the reigning king of KSL. He has won almost 100% of the KSLs that he has signed up for. I think he's only lost like 2. I think only 2 KSLs he ended up losing, but outside of that, he has won every single one. Hero, he 2-0s Rebellion, he 2-0s Trigger, and he 3-1s Classic. There's been a lot of hype and a lot of excitement around Classic because of his run in EWC, and Classic is a very strong player. You could argue the strongest Protoss player out there, but Hero, he does pose a threat to him. Hero, he is also up there. He's top 2, if not, yeah, he's like top 2 alongside Classic when it comes to the best Protoss players in the world, and Hero does bring him down, 3-1. GG, well played, at least this week. I should also emphasize that Hero and Classic, they go back and forth. They often do go back and forth here. This week, Hero does take it. Next time, I'm sure Classic will. They will be trading from there. But well played here to Hero as it does claim the KSL. That leads us into the Platinum StarCraft League September edition. This, of course, is a more European-friendly time zone. We did have some Korean representation, but here we had Cristiano. Cristiano, he takes down Percival 2-1, takes down Nick 2-1, but Shameless was popping off. Shameless 2-0 over Geralt. I would have said that was an upset, and 3-0 over Cristiano. Shameless looking like a beast. Didn't drop a single map. Did not drop a single map in this tournament. Takes down everyone 2-0, 3-0, and is this month's champion. Very well done. Very well done. Very well played. Again, this is a monthly tournament leading into an end-of-year finals, just as a heads up, and Shameless does claim the win. GG, well played. Very impressive play there by Shameless. That leads us into the Wardy TV Mondays number 52. This is a weekly open tournament on Mondays. This was after the KSL and after the Platinum StarCraft tournament. Here we had Max. Max, he does go on a tear, and there were some missing players this week. I did take note of this. Where was Hero? Where was Clem? This week, no Hero. This week, no Clem. This week, there was less players to threaten Max Packs. No one to threaten Max Packs. The biggest threat to Max Packs was Harstem. Harstem took a map. Shout out to the captain himself. Takes a map off of Max Packs, but he 2-0s Mana, he 2-0s Rogue, and he 3-0s Shameless. The real story of this tournament was Shameless. I would say that Shameless was the most impressive player here, because Max Packs, the players that he beat, we expected him to. What did Shameless accomplish? He took down Lambo. Shameless, he 2-1 Lambo, he 2-1 Nickracht, and he 2-0'd Beyond. Shameless, he just won. I mean, maybe it was a sign of things to come. He had just won the Platinum September tournament, and here he comes in second place, beating Beyond, Nickracht, and Lambo. Really, really impressive performance here by Shameless. Very well done. GG. GG, well played. Again, I would say that his performance was more impressive than Max Pax's, just because Max Pax, he was favored against the players that he had already beaten. Shameless, less so. The other big win here was Rogue. Rogue, he did defeat Classic 2-1. I'm sure Max Pax was very happy to see that. I would say that Classic is a bigger threat to Max Pax than Rogue is, so I'm sure Max Pax is very happy to see that Rogue was facing off against him in the semis instead, and Max Pax does claim the win. 3-0 over Shameless. GG. GG, well played. That leads us into the Monday Night Weeklies, the PTR edition. This was later that evening. Here we did have Max Pax. Max Pax, he takes down Shameless once again, 2-0. Takes down Big Gabe at 2-0. Does fall to Björn. And this time, Hero was here. Hero, he was a part of this tournament this time. He did fall to Björn initially, and Hero, he did fall to Max Pax in the best of one. They had a best of one in the lower bracket. Max Pax did win that first game, and he was able to bring it back against Björn at 1-3-0 and then 2-1. Max Pax, he got his revenge, wins 2 tournaments back to back. Clem, by the way, I believe is on vacation, and of course, going to be traveling soon and getting ready for the Masters of the game, but has been on a bit of a break. That leads us into the Wardy TV PTR 2025 edition. Again, for us, we're going to be turning and morphing a lot of our weeklies into PTR tournaments. I believe Wardy, I don't think he's going to be doing that to his Monday night weeklies. If he wants to keep them giving OSC points, I believe that's like a prerequisite, is OSC events have to be on the base game. So that may stop him from moving the weeklies into PTRs. Go onto the PTR, but he does at least host one event here. And hey, speaking of Clem, he wasn't there for the open card, so Clem was a part of this event. Thankfully, Clem takes down Rex 2-0, takes down Harsem 2-0, takes down Max Pax 2-1, and takes down Hero 3-0 as well. Bearing in mind, I believe this was on the most recent edition of the PTR. This was 2 days ago. So I believe it was on the updated version. And congratulations to Clem, looking very dominant. Looking very, very dominant here in the event. GG, well played. Bearing in mind that, of course, changes to the PTR are still, I should say players need some time to adjust to the PTR and adjust to all the changes. So the more events we get on the PTR, the better. So shout out to Wardy for taking one of the first steps. Not the first step, that was Monday Night Weekly, of course. They were the first to take that big plunge. I should have emphasized that as well, is that this week's Monday Night Weekly was on the PTR. I guess they were the first tournament to be run on the PTR as well. True. So shout out to Monday Night Weekly, shout out to TKL and those working behind the scenes. That leads us into the Sparkling Tunica of this week's STC. Now, we opted not to run our tournament on the PTR because this is leading into a monthly finals. That is our reasoning. So to apologize if you want some more PTR action, but we're going to be holding off until after the monthly finals. Oh boy, as for this event, we had some crazy results. Young Yakov. So we did decide to follow Yakov here in this tournament, and he himself was very unconfident. He was like, I'm washed, Bappy. Like, I'm out of practice. Like, I'm not going to go far. He was crazy. Yakov, he 2-0'd Wayne. He 2-1'd Björn as well. He had some cheeky builds, by the way. He had some cheeky builds, some cheeky all-ins, and Björn was cutting corners. Björn was being greedy. Crazy upset, and Young Yakov takes on Björn 2-1 with some cheese, but also in the late game. That's what's important. He also did beat Björn in the late game as well with Ultras, so really impressive play there out of Young Yakov. He then goes up against Geralt, who also, Young Yakov was also able to feature late game Ultra Tech, late game Hive Tech, and also some all-ins as well. Did take down Geralt, and against Nightmare, he went all the way to the ace match. Nightmare was favored, Geralt was favored, Björn was favored, Wayne was favored, everyone was favored against Young Yakov. And Young Yakovi doesn't win the event, but he forces Nightmare to the ace match. This was a crazy tournament for Young Yakov. Like, this is the best that he's looked in a long time. I'll be honest. We just covered him in the Sunny Lake Cup. Young Yakov, he got outperformed by GG Machine, and by Wayne, and by Nicoract, and by a couple of others, I believe, as well. Like, Young Yakov, he struggled in Sunny Lake Cup, but here, he excels. He does excel, so really impressive play there. On Nightmare's side, I shouldn't gloss over that. Nightmare, he 2-0'd Nicoract, and he 2-0'd Creator, right? I would have favored Creator over Nightmare, but Nightmare does take down Creator 2-0, so very impressive win there by Nightmare, as he does win the entire tournament. But I'm most impressed by Young Yakov for having his tournament run, for making it to the finals, and making the finals as close as it was. Like, that was a crazy run out of Young Yakov. Crazy. That leads us into this week's Big Star Cup. It looks like this week was a little bit smaller. Oh, no. I guess they just cut down the Wikipedia page for some reason. They did decide to cut down the brackets, but the signups were solid, I will say, and we did have Max takes down Mute 2-0, takes down Creator 3-1, and then does 4 to Solar in the finals 3-0. That's crazy. Solar 3-0 over MaxPax. Very impressive performance there by Solar. He doesn't just 3-0 MaxPax, he 3-2s Björn. Solar, that's crazy. that's crazy impressive. I would love to see those games, and I feel a little bit spoiled because I'm pretty sure I'm going to be covering these replays, by the way, over the weekend. But yeah, really impressive run there by Solar, and I look forward to seeing what happened in these games, what happened in these matches. To look forward to it. GG well played. Really impressive considering MaxPax's current form. Speaking of MaxPax, coming into Little League Cup, we spoke earlier how I'm sure MaxPax was very happy during the WardyTV Monday that he didn't play against Classic. Because of why? Because of Rogue. Remember, Rogue beat Classic, so Classic never played MaxPax in the Monday Night Weekly. Sorry, in the WardyTV Monday. Here, there's no Rogue. This time, there's no Rogue to stop him. So MaxPax, he comes in from one side, he takes down Shameless, takes down Creator, and MaxPax makes it to the finals. Meanwhile, Classic takes down Percival, takes down Cure. Classic also makes it to the finals. They finally do get to face off, and Classic does get the win 3-2 over MaxPax. They missed each other in the WardyTV Monday. They hit each other here in the League Cup, and Classic does get the win. Was very close, very clutch. Went the distance, went to the ace match. Could have gone either way. Again, Classic, MaxPax, Hero, all three of them, they trade. They trade back and forth. Hero beat Classic in KSL. Classic beats MaxPax here in Little League Cup, and MaxPax beat Hero in Monday Night Weekly. They like the circle of life. They all beat each other. Those are the three best Protoss players in the world, and here Classic does beat MaxPax in Little League Cup. GG, well played. Congratulations. Does bring him down. That leads us into the RSL. We're done with the weeklies, so we're now jumping into RSL, the Revival StarCraft League. There's been a lot of controversy about this event just because of the growth of the Patreon and where the money's been going. That is true. We did, of course, express our own concerns about that. We're pushing for transparency, and it is on those working on RSL to be transparent when it comes to that. Something that was announced this season is that they have confirmed 3 seasons of RSL. Season 1, Season 2, Season 3 this year, and they will have an offline finals, and they're booking a venue with a live audience. So a lot of the money for Patreon, I'm sure, is going to booking the live venue and actually getting the production team ready for a live broadcast and a live studio broadcast of the offline finals. So I'm sure that's where a lot of that has gone. That is not cheap, not at all. So that is what they're working towards the end of the year. What I will say is that admission is not free. That you have to pay for tickets as well. Bear that in mind. You have to pay to be a part, to go to enter the event, to be a part of that. And more details will be announced soon in October. That'll be announced for the offline finals. Meanwhile, for the main event for RSL, we had already gone through the entirety of the group stage, and we were getting into the playoffs themselves. So when it comes to the playoff bracket here, we had a Cure. Cure takes down Shin 3-1. Honestly, when it comes to the first round, a lot of these matches were one-sided, except for Zan versus Reina. Zan versus Reina was very close, was very clutch. If you miss it, I recommend the VODs. What happened? Zan, he adapted the hell out of Raynor. that was a lot of adepts, a lot of glaive adepts here out of Zaun. Just he adapted the hell out of Raynor. Raynor got knocked down to the lower bracket. Zaun did advance on. He did take down Cure to make it to the upper bracket finals. Meanwhile, Classic takes down Trigger 3-0, takes down Maru 3-0. Classic did come in here as the favorite player to win the entire tournament. I mentioned something similar, actually, if you remember. I mentioned something similar in the Woody TV Monday, where for that weekly, there was no one to stop MaxPax, right? We spoke about it. Hero didn't sign up, Clem didn't sign up, and Rogue stopped Classic. So because of that, MaxPax had a really clean run in the Woody TV Monday. Here it's something similar, where I would say that Classic came in as the heavy favorite, and I don't see MaxPax, I don't see Hero, I don't see Clem, I don't see Serral either. I would say the biggest threat in this tournament to Classic would have been Raynor, but they never played. I say they never played. They played in the group stage. If you look, they played in the group stage, and Raynor did beat Classic. He beat Classic in the group stage. Raynor advanced out of the group stage in first place over Classic. So again, the biggest threat in this tournament to Classic was Raynor, but they did not play in the playoffs because of players like Zaun, right? Zaun, he cheesed the hell out of Raynor, knocked him down, and then Cure mech the hell out of Raynor. But Cure, he was able to not just showcase some mech, but also showcase some strong bio-timing attacks as well. Cure did knock Raynor out of the tournament in the lower bracket semi-final. So really impressive play there by Cure. He pulled off the reverse sweep. Cure, he knocked out Trigger, he knocked out Raynor who had knocked out Maru. I'm impressed that Maru did go to the ace match against Raynor, I will say that. I had lower expectations for Maru, but for Maru to beat Bjorn and to take Raynor to the ace match was very impressive. As Cure takes down Raynor, and then we had our top three. We had Zaun, Classic, and Cure. Zaun versus Cure was so close. It was so close, it was so clutch. It was honestly a really entertaining series. Really entertaining. I'll be honest, it was after this lower bracket finals that I really regretted, and it really did hurt the broadcast that there were no interviews. There were no winners interviews. This is one of my big criticisms of the event, is that the show is very short, very brief, and very... it's very short, it's very brief, it's very thinned out as well. I feel like there's a lot that can be done with the show when it comes to bringing on guests and when it comes to interviewing as well. You're in Korea, you know, some of the production team, they can speak Korean. If not, hire a translator, get Maddox in there, get Crank in there, get anyone in there to help translate, pay Solar to be the translator, do anything, because you're in Korea, and it would be really cool to get interviews, whether it's loser, whether it's I'm more comfortable with winners interviews, of course, to be able to hear from the players and hear their thoughts, what was going on, go through their process, have some brief analysis of the game. There's more that you can do. Again, when I say how brief and how thinned out it was, there was some broadcast days where it was like 2 hours. I think there was a cast where it was like 1 hour and 40 minutes. Like, they have really short broadcast days because they have like 1 series a day, 2 series a day, things of that nature. So really, really short casts. And I feel like there's no need for that. Like, I should say, if you want to limit the amount of matches you cover and actually only have 2 casts a day, 2 series a day, that's fine. But you can make something else of your time there and make use of the fact that you have a studio. You're in South Korea. I think that was one of my biggest criticisms is, hey, you're in Korea. Most of the players here in the tournament are local. Everyone was, except for Raynor, right? Trigger's in Korea. Classic, Maru, Bjorn, Zaun, Shin, Cure. They're all in Korea. They're all around. You can bring them on. You can interview them. You can talk to them. You can have them on as a guest for when they don't have to play. You can do something of that. Whether it's the players themselves, whether it's other content creators in Korea, whether it's Crank, whether it's Maddox, whether it's anyone else. Like, there's so much you can do with a studio setup in Korea, but it feels like there's a little wasted opportunity and a wasted potential currently in the RSL broadcast. I hope that they improve it. I hope they do more with it. I do look forward to what RSL becomes in the future. I just hope they're able to improve and they're able to iterate and they're able to make something more of the broadcast than what it is. Because what it is right now is, I would say, a shell of what it could be. So that's my big criticism, not the games themselves, but the production of RSL. I feel like, and the show itself, I feel like can be improved upon quite a bit. even the RSL After Dark. Like, yeah. So there's a lot of criticisms to levy to RSL. Regardless, the games themselves and the tournament itself is solid, but like again, the show itself could be improved upon. Zaun did advance onto the grand finals, and Classic had his way with Zaun. Again, Classic was coming as heavy favorite. As I mentioned before, the biggest threat to Classic in this event would have been Reynor. They never played. They never did play, at least in the playoffs. They never did play. They never did face off. So Classic had a much more dominant run here in this tournament with a 3-0 over Trigger, 3-0 over Maru, 4-1 over Zaun, and then 4-1 over Zaun once again. GG. Oh. GG, well played with that. With that, Classic does claim the entire season here, back to back. Actually, fun fact: Classic, he won season 1 of RSL, and he's also the season 2 champion as well. So back to back champion. Can he go for the hat trick? Can he win all 3 in a row? We'll see. It's going to be on Classic there, but I'm sure he can. So best of luck. Best of luck to Classic as he does endeavor to go for another win and go for another season. Again, season 3 is going to be in November. November will be season 3. I think the qualifiers will be in October. I want to say they already released specific dates regarding that. So let me just quickly double check. Yes, so the Americas qualifier is on the 31st of October. Then we have on the 1st of November, the Korean qualifier, and the 2nd of November, the European qualifier. So 3 days straight of qualifiers. Dates are confirmed, and signups are live. Yes, challenge pages are live, so you can sign up. You can sign up already for the next season of the RSL. In regards to feedback, I believe you can reach out and provide feedback via Patreon. I think that's when they mainly do aggregate and they mainly do collect feedback. But I do hope that they're able to take some of it to heart, and I do hope they're able to improve the event itself, because I do think there is room for improvement. Otherwise, of course, much love to those working on the event, to Tasteless, to State, to Gemini, to Ziggy, to Sturgeon, to all those working behind the scenes, to God, what's his name? I wanted to say Lucian. It's not Lucian. Oh God. That's it. It was named like that. Lucas. Shout out to Lucas as well. He's one of the production guys behind the scenes. And I'm sure many other nameless people working behind the scenes as well on the production of the event. So yeah. Oh, Maple. True, Maple. He was the observer as well. That's another criticism. I think they even said it during the cast themselves. Apparently Mapu is observing, but Mapu does not hear the casters. So he's off by himself observing and providing a clean feed, but he's not on a call with the casters. So whenever they're asking for something, whenever they want to know something, like Mapu, he's not reacting to that because he doesn't hear them. He's like blindly providing the clean feed to them, and they're just casting from the clean feed without Mapu actually getting any audio from them. So that's something that needs to be worked on.
So, Light, what you are saying is that they are providing the true GSL experience where the observer only hears the Korean cast, so the English casters cannot ask anything.
Yes, except Mapu, he can't even hear the Korean. He's deaf. They got a deaf observer out there. That's what they got. Oh no, he's not listening to anyone. Oh no. So that's also something that I don't know why they're doing. They get him in a call, Papi. Just get him in a call. Have him listen into the stream. Make a Discord call or something. Set it up. What are you doing? God damn it! Let him in, but let Maple hear what's going on, so we can show you what you want to see, Papi. Aye. But yeah, there's a lot that can be improved upon when it comes to the RSL. Shaking my head, but overall, again, the event itself is solid. The games themselves are solid as well. So best of luck moving forward, coming into season 3. As that is all the events covered for the week. Remember, this is only this week, by the way. Every week, this is basically what we have. Like every week, just non-stop StarCraft, non-stop tournaments. We do cover most of this ourselves, but there are some events that we're not able to, just because we have been taking a bit of a step back in regards to casting and covering more tournaments. We have been trying to take a bit of a break and taking a little bit easy here, casting once a day instead of twice a day. I know, it's crazy. How dare we? Meanwhile, if you want to support this event, I mean, first things first, if you want to play in some of these tournaments, ! Sign up list, I believe. Yeah, there we go. ! Sign up list in the chat. I mentioned earlier that signups are already available for RSL Season 3. So, hey, that's already available. That's going to be coming in towards the end of October. But you have all the Open Cups as well. And also Starfest. We got Starfest. We got SC4 All. We got some big offline events on the horizon. We got the UK Epic Lane, of course. and more tournaments. So do check them out over on the sign up list. Also, you can support us via Patreon, !Patreon in the chat. Our Patreon does fund our tournaments specifically, but I believe our next goal is to actually pay the casters and pay the admins, is to actually provide us with some support as well. So we do appreciate all the support on Patreon. It's helped us grow the events, and you can help us grow them even further via Patreon. We would love to be able to grow the Patreon to the point where we can host monthly tournaments on a regular basis. Right now, we did get a very generous donation in the chat. We had a $2,000 USD donation to the channel, and we're putting all that money towards monthly tournaments. That's why the Tuna Cup has a monthly finals for September, October, November, December. For the next 4 months, that's where the $2,000 is going. 500 USD for every single monthly. That's going to be at the end of the month, and the September monthly is coming up. 8 players invited based off of their performances in the weekly tournaments. So again, thank you so much to the massive donation. And again, if you want to help us organically grow to that point, you can do so via Patreon, where we can get to the point where we don't have to rely on any big donation, where we can host those monthlies ourselves based on the money gathered from Patreon. That's the goal. That's the hope. That's the dream, baby. That's the dream. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Our next event, our next broadcast is going to be tomorrow. I believe tomorrow is it Little League Cup? Just double checking, and no, tomorrow is Masters 1. That's it. So MSO, Masters 1 Open is tomorrow. Maestros of the game is going to be this weekend. We didn't even get to talk about it, but yes, Maestros, the big event happening in France, in Paris, is happening this weekend. Players are traveling, players are flying, and that is also why we will not have the Tuna Cup on Sunday, because some of the players that are competing in our monthly tournaments are going to be traveling back from France after the event. So that's why the Tuna Cup is on Tuesday instead, to avoid clashing with the flights of the players. So we have some players that are flying to and flying back from Paris, France, that are going to be competing in the Tuna Cup. Meanwhile, we have PTR Cup and Replay Cast on Sunday. We have WTV Monday, and of course, plenty more tournaments throughout the course of the week. But again, the big event happening this week is Maestros of the game. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Big shout out to Kuro, of course, for handling the production and for setting up all the topics and all of the topics leading into this broadcast, leading into the podcast. If we miss something, if there's a tournament that you know of, or if there's something you want us to discuss, then let us know. Let us know. You can reach out to us via Discord, via email, via the Twitch chat, and we will look into it and add it to the next week, to our next podcast. One of the things that we'll be talking about next week is going to be the PTR for SC Evo. True, StarCraft Evolution League. We did miss out on the SC Evo PTR patch notes. We will do so next week. True, as a heads up. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. And we're going to be heading off for the time being. We'll see you guys tomorrow for Master Swan Open. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Ciao, papi, ciao. See you next time. The hopium is real, papi. The hopium. Crazy. See you next time.